Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about role-playing games. This is all about monsters. So for those of you who are looking forward to me talking about monsters, that's what you get. The Aurupede, the monster lore behind the Aurupede. It is a Dungeons & Dragons 5e compatible monster. There is a stat block on Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, but it also has a certain amount of lore to it. Now, the lore behind the Aurupede is, well, a little bit strange in that it's really the story of its creation. So I have added my own sort of twist to this, and I have got approval from Esper the Bard, for those of you who are wondering, and I hope you enjoyed this. Anyway, let's go into it. The origins of the Aurupede have generated heated arguments among scholars, even violent altercations and fights. The home world of the Aurupede is where the sun is worshipped and gold is actually holy. Gold symbolizes the very flesh of the sacred sun, and priests teach that greed eats the soul away. So there was actually a famous priest who was beloved by the sun god, who possessed a fatal flaw, a fanatical love of gold. And after casting a spell of protection, which allowed them to resist heat, and were immunity to heat, this legendary priest poured liquid gold over their body. And the sun god was so angry with the priest's greed that the liquid gold killed the priest, as the magical protection that they had cast on themselves was removed by the god in their wrath. So the sun god's lingering magic within the droplets of that molten gold created the first Aurupeds. Now, radiation from the sun is absorbed by an Aurupede, and this will sustain its normal function. If an Aurupede doesn't have enough radiation, or hasn't absorbed enough radiation, it will actually shut down and hibernate. So it is dependent on the sun. So these glimmering parasites now exist to remind everyone of the dangers of greed. Now, an Aurupede can appear as a normal gold coin, just with certain designs and patterns on it. Now, there is a numbing fluid that is secreted by the Aurupede that is used against creatures so they can't feel when the Aurupede is feeding off them or moving across their skin. As a parasitic monster, the Aurupede latches onto a host creature and will slowly suck blood from that creature till it is full. The strange thing is, it doesn't really need that blood that much. The Aurupede doesn't breed, but it will duplicate or clone themselves to reproduce. Once an Aurupede has consumed enough precious metals, because it also consumes precious metals and gold, it will actually, particularly gold in fact, it will produce an exact duplicate of itself, and this is how it reproduces. A favourite hiding place for the Aurupede is a large pile of treasure or a treasure hoard, particularly when it consists of gold coins or gold items. The excretion. So the excretion or waste, such things like urine and poop, are not body functions that the Aurupede engages in very often, because it doesn't actually suck blood from creatures that often. It will feed on precious metals and gold more often than anything else. So it's very, very unlikely you'll see a secretion from this creature. Aurupeds do not fight amongst themselves because they are divine creatures of the sun god, and to ensure that the folly of the priests are not carried on, or at least one priest in particular, Aurupeds do not fight amongst themselves. There is no need to do so. Now, the dead body of an Aurupede becomes a solid gold coin. This is the carcass of the creature once it's finally destroyed in some way. There are various ways you can do that. Now, the corpse of an Aurupede is highly prized, particularly by adventurers, but it is also feared because there's always that nagging fear that the thing is not completely dead and it may in fact return to life, given the sun god's propensity for punishing those who like gold and are greedy. And that is the Aurupede by Esper the Bard. Now, I hope that you found this useful and helpful, and if you did, fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon, doing this every single week. I want to thank Esper the Bard allowing me to talk about this topic and for providing the artwork for it. I want to thank you for watching, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.